representing public-private partnerships in strengthening revenue management. Thank you. Please, can we give her a round of applause? Thank you.
Hi, everyone. Good afternoon. Thank you so much for being here. I don't want to take up so much of your time, so we're just going to get right into it. This session is going to be on public-private partnerships in revenue management, like she mentioned. I'm going to invite the guest speaker, Dr. Armstrong Takang. Are you in the house, please, Dr. Armstrong? Dr. Armstrong Takang, the Managing Director, Ministry of Finance, Incorporated. In the house? Okay. So before he possibly comes out, the other panel discussants would be Mr. Fola Olatunji David, Founding Partner, Kickoff Africa. In the house? Professor Carl Adams, Vice Chancellor, Cosmopolitan University, Abuja. Professor Carl Adams. Okay. Miss Lucy James Abagi, CEO, Public and Private Development Center, in the house. Who is in the house? Okay. Okay. So, Ife Olatunji would be representing Miss James. Take your seats. Then we would have Mr. Theodore Longi. Can we have you up on stage, please, Mr. Theodore? And Mr. Andrew Abu would be representing Professor Carl Adams. Can we have you on stage? As a board member. Okay. Okay, so, yeah. Okay, so thank you all for joining us. We're going to get right into it. We're going to begin speaking about, just general discussions on collaborations between the public and private sectors in enhancing revenue generation. So could you please briefly kind of define and explain what public-private partnerships mean for the audience, Mr. Theodore?
All right. Good day, everyone. Thank you for that question. I'll just go straight to it. PPP, as we all know, public-private partnership, it's an arrangement where you have mostly the private sector and also the public sector coming into some form of understanding, either to embark on a project, providing, so it depends on whatever project or whatever initiative. But there's a coming together and there's also financing involved. So most times the private sector will come in with funding for some sort of arrangement. So There are a lot of examples we can, available. What we see happening if you are coming from Akwanga to Abuja, you see the toll gate. It's a PPP between a private sector company and the public sector, which is the government mostly. So that arrangement happens, and funding or payment comes with time. So we've seen, so there are several kinds of that kind of arrangement. The toll gate we have in Ireland, in Lagos, is also that kind of arrangement. So yeah, so basically what I'm trying to say is some sort of arrangement, funding is involved. So you do the project, you execute the project, and then over time, payment is spread in such a way that you don't get to feel, the impact. So government will take credit for, at the end of the day, for providing some sort of infrastructure development, either roads, bridges. So these things are done every now and again. But like I said, the bottlenecks, usually that's where the problem is, where if there's no understanding between the two parties, you get to see very little successful PPP, happening. Either some people get greedy at some point, actually getting their delivery, their own side of the delivery, just getting to ensure that they do their own part of the job. So these are some of the complications that get to happen. But basically, we have two individuals, two parties coming together to agree on something, on a project or initiative. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Theodore. So I think you already highlighted on certain ways that we've seen PPPs play a role in Nigeria in certain states. But what other ways do you think that it can enhance, the efficiency and effectiveness of revenue management in the public sector?
For public sector, for private sector rather, since they are the ones mostly providing the financing. So once there's financing, jobs gets to be created, right? So if, for instance, the road project, if it's a road project, the value chain from people who will sell materials, from people who will do the job, the labor, all these things, you find out that there's money going around. So it kind of creates revenue. It kind of creates revenue for people. People get to do the job and get paid. So there is a lot of revenue. So for government again will also, for instance, the toll gate, certain percentage goes to the government. That's revenue for the government, right? So it's just as basic as that. Thank you.
Okay, so Ms. Ife, what opportunities do PPPs present for unlocking new revenue streams in Nigeria? So in sectors like technology, infrastructure, digital finance, what opportunities can you see that presenting?
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. First, I would like to apologize on behalf of my CEO. She couldn't attend because she's currently in Oyo, but I am representing her. So thanks for the question. And for background, PPDC, Public and Private Development Center, the CSO, and that is the angle I'll be answering from. Because in the PPP, just like Mr. Theodore as explained, is the partnership between the government and private entities. The government brings the platform or some of the fund. The private entities bring funding, expertise, and things they can leverage for revenue management. Mostly it's vital for addressing inefficiency in the public sector. I'm sure most of us know the inefficiency in the system. Private sector manages that better. It reduces leakages because expertise. It also ensures sustainable economic growth. So those are some of the things that are the benefits of PPP. And the third arm of the government, which CSOs are trying to leverage on, or not leverage, trying to emphasize on, is the watchdog angle. So the CSOs are like the third arm of the government. So there's this partnerships. The CSO come to ensure that every party is doing the right thing, and also ensure the public good angle. So ensuring that, okay, they are building road, they are not displacing some people. Like if you think back to the Lagos-Calabar highway, we are there asking the government, the people that you are displacing, how are you taking care of them? Ensuring that the policies are in place to ensure that Nigerians, the masses, where most of us are now in with what is happening, are not suffering from what the big guys are doing. So, sorry, remind me of a question again.
Okay. So basically, opportunity sectors like technology, infrastructure, and digital finance.
Okay. So, like, I think I've already covered that. The opportunities, like we have PiggyVest here. These guys are young guys that are focused on solving problems. They have the expertise. They've schooled everywhere. They have the zeal. They have the passion. Imagine them being in the public sector. I think that already speaks to the opportunities that are there. You have young, vibrant people, even if they are not young. We have experienced people that are passionate and have built their own source of income that is separate from the government's funding and are passionate about moving Nigeria forward because they care about the future of Nigeria. So that alone drives the people in the PPP to do the work. So those are such opportunities. And then because they are also trying to build a brand, they are focused on the best practices. They are not just doing things for doing sake. They're not just checking the boxes. They are trying to build a brand that is globally acceptable. So if we have more PPPs for government projects, we would see more projects that are done according to best practices. We will see less leakages. We will see better systems built and better efficiency. And there will be better, I don't know. I think that covers it, basically. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Okay, so Mr. Andrew, we know that trust is a major issue in partnerships. So how do you think that both public and private sectors, they can build mutual trust to ensure that these collaborative projects, thrive?
Good afternoon, and thank you for having me. I'm representing Professor Carl at Cosmopolitan University, which I'm a member of the board. I'm partner of the university as well. For us in the private sector, I think signing agreement on any project is key, because without having a proper MOU for any project, it's a recipe for disaster already. So I think private sector players should also look at signing very solid MOUs. We've seen projects in Nigeria collapse because of no proper framework, no proper MOUs binding the 2 or 3 multi-stakeholder projects. Most projects die. Around here, there's a national library around here. That project is one of the worst projects ever conducted in this country, and it's a PPP project as well. So we should do better for ourselves as Nigeria. People should be able to read simple documents, you understand? Okay, this is what is obtainable. This is my responsibility. This is your responsibility. If you breach this contract, there are rules of engagement. There are punishments. So when we decide to start respecting contracts and start doing the right thing, I believe trust is earned. It's not bought in the market. It's earned. So I believe in agreement, proper agreement, and for both partners to know that they are partners in progress. And if the project works, it's benefit for 2 people. It's not benefit to only 1 person. So the underlining major thing binding any PPP agreement, any collaboration, is the contract. Is the contract. They can for our university per se, I think we're doing a project called Ideas Project. It's a PPP project between the university, young innovators, and the Ministry of Education. I think for those of us here involved in that project, to sign MOU, the MOU, I think it took us about 6-7 months to just review MOU, to sign MOU, different phases of that project. Anybody handling the ideas project, the person understands it. For people that work in international organizations, you know how solid their MOUs are. So for us here in Nigeria, we play with a lot of things, and we should start changing. Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Andrew. Okay, so back to you, Ms. Ife. What policy changes or regulatory frameworks from the government do you think needs to be added in to create a more conducive environment for PPPs to thrive in the Nigeria's revenue management sector?
So I would take on my CSO cap now.
Okay.
I like policies. So I would give an example. The CNG buses that their initiative that they just launched, and it's meant to alleviate and support the masses. It would shock you to know that these CNG buses are not accessible to people with disabilities. Who are the people? They are the, permit me to say, but they are the ones that need it the most. So you're doing contracts. Most government buildings are not accessible. Maybe there are just a few that might be accessible. So if you're giving contracts, the barest minimum, ensure that the contractors know that whatever they are designing should be accessible to all. Having a clause, even from advertising, from needs assessment, from selecting the contractors, ensuring that the people that they are selecting are interested in developing the nation. Not just, yes, there will be profit. There will always be profits. There's no country that people don't make profits. But the difference is that the public good, the extra effort, and it's nothing to put a ramp on a bus. It's just a welder putting a ramp. Like there's some accessibility. It's not that hard. So just ensuring that extra effort to ensure that whoever is implementing government projects or whoever they are partnering with is considering the people that they are doing these projects for. So if you are producing CNG buses to support the people, ensure that it is actually supporting the people, not just for a select few, or not just to tick the boxes. Thank you. I think I'll end there.
Thank you so much. So we're going to end this session with one final question to Mr. Theodore. So in regards to what Ms. Ife said about, carrying out needs assessments, ensuring that user empathy is, carried out and factored in, we're going to talk in line with sustainability and a long-term vision for this partnership. So what do you think can be done to ensure that these partnerships established today in both the private and the public sectors are sustainable and they can adapt to, human, economic, and technological changes?
So for every project, it is very important to have a vision for it. So how long do we have to keep this? Those things are the first things you have to sort out before you can even begin the actual project itself. So having that understanding, coming together, agree on what exactly we want to do with whatever project that we're coming up with. And then what are the sustainability strategy we have to put in place to ensure that it goes beyond, or meets the target, the reasons why we want it to happen. So these are some of the things that need to be thought of in the beginning before you can even begin to go into other more detail of the project. So I believe. So yes, for instance, if you have what we have, I just want to give that example because it's something that everyone can relate to. The toll gates are coming up very soon. Everybody, motorists will start paying whatever amount that has been agreed. I can assure you that stakeholders were involved in the process. People who are driving taxis with their personal, people who even have their personal vehicles. So there's a specific amount that everyone will pay. So inside the entire cost, how much is going servicing, the financing, whoever brought the finance, and some of those multi-stakeholder engagement. All the guys, all the stakeholders, there is something for everyone. Then there's something for maintenance as well. So that's where sustainability comes. So we don't wake up one day and now realize that all the infrastructure are bad and no one is servicing them. I believe that those things are already factored into ensuring that, okay, it goes beyond just maybe 5 to 10 years. But of course, like we know, for every project, there's a lifespan. So the continuity is okay. So what happens after that? These are supposed to be part of the documentation, to ensure that, okay, it's sustainable. So sustainability is part of the engagement, the entire process, before even kickstarting the project.
Thank you so much, everyone. So we've come to the end of this session. Thank you, Ms. Ife, Mr. Andrew, and Mr. Theodore. Can we get a round of applause? Thank you. I'm handing it over to you. Ms. Ngozi presenting the plaques to the panelists.